Hello LovelyyOT, it's your girl Nancy. I'm back again with another video. This video we are going to talk about how to deal with difficult patients. Yes, because I know the Lord knows that that's something that if you work in healthcare, if you work in anywhere really, you have to deal with difficult customers, and in the healthcare you have to deal with difficult patients, and that's just how the work goes. So it's good, it's a really good idea actually to learn just a little tips and tricks on what to do if you have difficult patients. Number one on my list is do not take it personal. It's nothing personal against you. It's not because you're a female or a man or black or white or whatever. A lot of these patients are going through a lot of hard life-changing situations, okay? And like my professor used to say in OT school, it's not about you as a clinician. It's not about you getting your feelings all into it. It's not about you. It's about your patients. Just like when you are in sales or in restaurant settings, it's about your customer. Your customer is always right. When you come to the healthcare system, it's the same thing. Your patient is essentially your customer. You have to understand they're going through a lot, and a lot of them feel helpless, and a lot of them are going through things that are literally life-changing. I've had patients who have recently lost their spouses that they've been with for years and years and years. I've had people who are going through terminal cancer, who are going through progressive diagnosis, and their life is literally changing right before their eyes, and there's nothing they can do about it, and they feel helpless, they feel hopeless, they feel unmotivated, not encouraged. So most of the time it's not even about you. It has nothing to do with you. It's just them. And so I think that if you understand that just right off the bat, if you understand that this is not about me, be more empathetic and sympathetic with the patient and know that they are going through some things, okay? Now, find ways to empower them and to encourage them. That's what I do with my patients most of the time. I always have the come to Jesus talk with them, right? Like, we need to find a way for you to be more motivated, because not only is it good for their health, it's really good for their recovery. Because in comparison, in my experience, in comparison to patients who are able to come to therapy and get better and go home, when I compare them to the people who are not able to do so well, usually it's because of motivational factor. Most people who are able to get it together, be in therapy and, go home and be well, those people are usually very motivated to get out. I'm not trying to stay here. I want to get well and I want to leave. And they're positive. Their mindset, they are so motivated. Comparison to patients who are not, they end up staying even longer. Okay, so it's really, really important that as a clinician that you learn how to empower your patients and encourage them, and positive speaking. Just any time that you find yourself with them, that you can see that they are down and they are unmotivated, find ways to motivate them and perk them right up. Okay, always try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Try to be empathetic to people, and then trying your best to put yourself in their shoes. If it was you and you were going through that situation, would you want someone yelling at you? Would you want someone who is being mean to you, who is not sympathetic and empathetic towards your situation? You wouldn't want that. So as much as you want to be overwhelmed with how difficult your patient is, try to be more understanding of the situation. The next one is seek to understand, okay? Seek to understand what's going on with them. Sometimes it can be something very simple. If you have a patient who is like, I don't want no therapy, I don't want nothing to do with you, I don't want to see you, nothing. Sometimes just sitting there, taking 5 minutes out of your day to sit there to ask them, what's wrong? Is there anything that I can help you with? What happened? I've had so many successful encounters with patients by just doing that. And most of the time it's something very small, like I need to use the phone. Okay, do you want to use, what's wrong with the phone that you have in here? Is it not working? Do you have a cell phone? Is it not charged? Sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, I do have a cell phone. It's not charged. Can you plug it into the charger for me? Sure, absolutely. Sometimes it's, oh, I'm in a lot of pain. I've asked for pain medicine and I haven't gotten it yet. Can you please ask a nurse? Absolutely, we can do that. I can ask a nurse. You can get your medication and I can come back in a few hours and we can do therapy. And they're like, okay, sure. Thank you so much for doing that. Sometimes it's something as simple as I need to get ice. I need to go use the bathroom, and just by you taking the time, the very small time, to just try to find out what's wrong with them and try to find a solution for it and trying to help them out, they will be so appreciative, and they will be even more inclined to want to do therapy and want to do something for themselves. So that's why I always say, I feel like in a lot of my videos, I always talk about building rapport with your patients and how important it is to build rapport with your patients. And it's still the number one on my list, because the more rapport you have with your patients, the more you're able to know what's wrong with them, because they're trust you a lot more to tell you what's wrong with them and to kind of seek advice on what to do about what's going on with them. And sometimes people just need someone to talk to. Really, sometimes that's all that it's about, just someone to talk to, someone to listen to them, someone to try to understand them. And at that stage in your life, at that stage in whatever you're going through, sometimes they feel like there's no one around to talk to and no one around to really listen to them, or no one cares. I've had patients tell me, nobody cares. You don't even care. Why are you asking me? You don't care. You don't care what happens to me. I'm like, of course I do. I'm a human being. Before I was a therapist, I was a human being. I'm somebody's daughter. I'm somebody's sister. I care, and I came into this profession because I care about people. It's not about money. If I wanted to make lots of money, this is not the profession to do so, and I wouldn't be doing this. I am a therapist because I love what I do, and I love to see people get well and go home and get back to their lives. And so just by taking the time to really let your patient know, like, listen, I care about you and I'm here for you. If I can help you, I will do it. If I can. If I cannot, maybe I can find somebody else who may, or we can problem solve together. So just take time to listen, to understand, to build rapport. Collaboration also helps a lot with getting difficult patients to do stuff. So collaboration with your patient. You have to understand, and I always tell my patient this also, I'm just the facilitator. This is your plan of care. These are your goals, especially if they have the cognition ability to understand that. These are your goals. This is something that we are working, me and you, we are a team, and we are working together to make sure that you can get where you need to be in order to go home and be safe and be functional as possible and do the things that you want to do. And so by us collaborating, the patient feel like they are part of this, and it's not just me telling them what to do and how to do it. It's a partnership, okay? And we are on the same team. That really, really helps. And so let your patient know, listen, we are in this together. We need to work together in order to make this happen. I cannot do it for you. You cannot do it by yourself. We need each other for this to work. And I'm more than happy to help you. But if you know something that I don't know, if you've heard something, and I always tell them, it's your body. You're feeling the pain. You know what you're going through more than I will ever do. I have the skills, the techniques from learning and from going through school and experience, but ultimately it's your body and it's your experience, and I'm here to help you so that we can reach that goal together. So collaborate with your patient is really important. Collaboration when it comes to time. So some patients love it when there's a time set for therapy. So it's really good that you know that. If you have a patient who would like to be seen in the morning, before, after lunch, or maybe later on towards the evening, that's something that you need to know, because maybe they work better during those times, because everybody works better in certain times, right? Like some people are morning people, some people are afternoon people, some people are night people. So by knowing what time works best for your patient and try to accommodate them as much as you can helps a whole lot. I'm telling you, try it. It really, really does work. Always be ready to adjust, okay? If you have a patient who absolutely has been totally difficult, you've tried everything, they're super difficult and they don't want to be seen, okay, now you just have to adjust your schedule, maybe reschedule them for the next day, maybe, collaborate with another therapist. Maybe they like working with another therapist. Give them to that therapist, and don't take it personal. It's nothing personal. Some people work better with other people, and that's okay. As long as you get the therapy that you need, this is about you. It's not about me and my feelings and what I feel. It's about you getting better. So if you feel like this therapist you work a lot better with this therapist and you guys vibe a lot better and you want that therapist, then absolutely do that. Do what's best for you. So always try to be ready to adjust and be ready to move things around if need be. When it comes to the adjustment thing, think about like if you had a whole session plan for a patient, right? And this patient is like, no, I'm not doing that. Just switch it up. Like, okay, fine. What do you want to do then? I ask my patient this all the time. Okay, you don't want to do ADLs. What do you want to do? You like bingo? Okay, maybe we can go down to activities and we can play a bingo game, standing up together. That can be part of your therapy. So you always have to be ready to adjust, always be ready to accommodate, and always be ready to kind of find out what your patient loves and what's meaningful to them, and use that in your therapy session. Because it's not every day the patient wants to do what we want them to do. You know what I mean? Sometimes you kind of have to roll back a little bit, ask them what they want to do, and try to see if you can accommodate that if possible. If you've done everything that you can possibly do and you just have a patient who is disrespectful, who is very difficult, and you've done everything that you can to make them more not difficult and they're still difficult, sometimes if it's a behavior thing and they've been disrespectful, you have to be very professional and very firm when you address patients. They are not your children. They are patients. They are grown people. Even if you work with kids or babies, you always have to be respectful to people, period. I don't care what age, how old, where they're from, what color they are. I don't care. All those things doesn't matter. You are a clinician. You are a professional, and that's the most important thing. Address the behavior in a very firm and very professional way. But if it keep happening, you have every right to not treat a patient who is being physically or emotionally or verbally abusive to you. You have that right as a clinician, okay? Always be professional. Always, 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 always remain professional. You can always tell your rehab director, tell a nurse, and document it. Say, hey, therapy missed session because of X, Y, and Z. Sometimes it's a medication thing. Sometimes the medication just needs to be managed a little better. And so by telling nursing and by telling the doctor, by telling the rehab director, they can kind of find the reason behind why it's happening, how it's happening. Like I said, sometimes it's something very, very simple that can be fixed. And I've seen this before where sometimes their medication is a little bit crazy because of the whole transition from home to hospital to rehab. And so they just needed to like readjust their medication a little bit. And once that's done, usually the patient can go back to just, you know, being level-headed and being a little better. So that's it. That's all my tips for if you having a lot of issues with dealing with difficult patients, which you will. Definitely you can get away from that. So you should just be ready for that and learn ways and means and how to deal with it, okay? And always remember to be professional. Always remember to be loving and to be nice and to be caring, and it will go a long way. If nobody appreciates it, at least you will feel good about yourself, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Anyway, okay, so that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit thumbs up. Make sure that you comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.